Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now before I get into this episode, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like and comment on my video, and most of all consider subscribing to my channel. So today's episode is going to be the Breacher Assault. If you want to find out the in detail reason for anything that I'm doing on the assault vessel, go back to the Merlin Assault. I am using it as a baseline for all the assault vessels and why I'm placing modules in certain positions. So as you can see, it's a 3x3x3x3 standard for all ships above T8 in the frigate class. So let's look at it. It has the damage control activation time bonus that gives you a lot of invulnerability to damage. It doesn't make you 100% invulnerable, it just makes it highly unlikely for you to actually be beaten. They have micro warp drive bonuses in effect of a 50% signal radius reduction because of the blow up from the micro warp drive, and a minus 25% capacitor need. Now I ignore the stat because I won't be using micro warp drives, especially since in PvE every single round has a ship with a warp disruptor, and if you go up against that, all of those advantages are null and void. Even your ability to hold up in fighting for almost 20 seconds becomes a waste of time. Now this is a missile controlling vessel, so a minus 25% activation time. That means it fires 1/4 faster. So if you have a 4-second activation time, this is a 3-second weapon. That makes it quite a bit better, and it has a plus 7.5% shield boost amount bonus. Now this is the min-meter bonus to this vessel, so please bear with it. It is going to make quite a big difference. Okay, actually I am shocked about this. I actually thought the speed was a bit lower. So we have a 3200 overall defense. It's not massive. It's not like it's going to make the difference between this ship and any other ship in its class. But nonetheless, if we go and we augment it correctly with the bonuses that it currently has, we can get quite a good bonus on this vessel. Damage control plus shield boost plus Afterburner. This ship is definitely going to have a big bonus. 37.5% is that full boost amount. So yeah, there is going to be a massive boost amount to the ship. If we augment it in the way that I augmented the Merlin with the right fittings in the engineering, we definitely will have a good ship. But before I even go any further, you can see that the power grid on the ship is huge. It's 58 megawatts. Now the reason why I say it's huge is because these are obviously missile vessels, and for them to have big power grids means you can go all out with them. Now you have two options. You can actually go torpedo, or you can go long range missile with it, and obviously I'm going to opt for the faster firing weapon in this case. So here is something to note. I'm actually going to go with my rigs right now because I know my grid is safe. At 58%, adding in all the bonuses for my particular ship, I'm going to be just over 80 megawatts in power. So yeah, 80 megawatts is more than enough for me. I don't have to stress about anything when it comes to the next part of implementation. So yeah, I'm not scared about that. 395 ms standard speed. If you augment it by research alone, that's going to blast you up to 395 plus augmentation. That's going to be, let's see, what is that figure? Around 500 meters per second with the standard augmentation. You're just going to be under, to be honest, and there is going to be quite a big buff. And then on top of that, you're going to buff yourself with Afterburner around 250. So that's going to be 2.5 times what you have here. So a total of 500, let's go, times 3.5 actually. So that will be 1800 meters per second. You're going to have a nice damage reduction. This is much greater than what you're going to get from the Merlin, just by the way. It is going to be way better in damage reduction, way better in target acquisition, and way better for firing. So keep up with what's going on it, and you're going to have a murderous little ship for you to use. Alright, next thing to note. Although the power grid isn't huge, it is still very big for this class of vessel, and it's obviously a shield tank. It actually has a primary resistance, which I'm actually shocked to see. Actually, that's standard for min-meter. I don't know why I'm shocked to see it, but nonetheless, let's go to the missiles. Okay, now you could always go with the standard type small missile, and that is going to give you a total of 30 output. Now remember, you're not getting a damage increase on the ship, so 3 of them is exactly 120 plus the augmentation from not 120. 3 of them is 90 plus the augmentation from research is going to pull you up to just around 140. Let's see, they're 9 megawatts per weapon system. They have a 4-second flight time, so it's a fairly good weapon, and it's just about a guaranteed hit with each shot. Considering the speed of these shots, there isn't any chance for you to really be reduced in terms of firepower, so you don't have much to stress about. But let's go to the torpedoes. Now, torpedoes are something which a lot of people don't use, and there's 2 reasons behind it. They don't have a very fast time when it comes to knocking onto enemies. With 120 DPS as the standard, augmenting it up with the standard, you'll be at around 180 per hit. Now understand that the difference between this and the Merlin is a massive damage reduction bonus, but this ship is way tougher. It can actually hold on for much longer in terms of combat just because of its natural abilities. Now please bear with me as I go through them. Right, if you count this up at 5 megawatts a system and 3 of them, 15 megawatts out of 58, you don't need to worry about much more. 4 seconds, 150 meters per second velocity, you don't have anything to really stress about. Everything near you is going to be hit. You have a fairly decent, as you can see, 5.4 kilometer missile range. It's fairly decent. It will improve with research. You will gain a 50%, you double your range, so about a 10.8 kilometer range with the missiles. And as you can see, with this quick flight time, activation time, you're reducing it, so it's 3 seconds, and that pushes your DPS up. Remember, this is without augmentation to your rigs, and once I add in rigs, you're going to see, wait, let me just go through the rigs right now. For your engineering, double auxiliary thrusters, right, you're going unbelievably fast. And last but not least, semiconductor control or memory circuits. So you're going with either one of the 2 to increase your overall capacity regain. Right, next thing on the terms of weapons, you're going for a shield boost adjustment to give you plus 25%. Remember, you already got a 37.5 plus 25, your shield is crazy. You get a 50% adjustment to your shield regen. This is a big increase. For every activation of your shield regen, you're gaining so much of shield that you will be equal to a medium class at the very least. A type 3 medium class shield regen is more or less where you're sitting. It may not be the very best, but at least it is a massive improvement to your defense. Now, your next 2 on your weapons is going to be an acceleration, so 3 seconds reduced again. So you're going to be just over 2 point something seconds. Each activation at 2 point something seconds, you're going to rip through enemies like they don't even exist. If you fire on somebody with this weapon, remember when we reduce that time, the DPS goes up. So damage per second is really shooting up. By doing it at a quarter, we would reduce that figure of 40 by 10 and add that to everything in the 30 seconds that it has. So yeah, we're really pushing it up. Every activation 38 DPS will go up by about 40 to about 45, 55 DPS just off the standard. And when we add this here to it, we're looking at somewhere in the range of 50 to 60. To be honest, 55 is on the high end if you manage to augment your systems in another way, which we're not going for. So 47 is about the real range of where the damage is, and with the augmentation of the bonus from the ship, you really have a good thing going for you with the payload accelerator and the damage increase. Damage increase is going to throw you to the top, right? So you have a massive increase. You're going to go from that 45 all the way up to 60. With the acceleration, you're going to go up to 70. 70 times 3 is 210. You are 30 off the Merlin without that massive damage boost. So you are quite heavy on the hits. You are doing a considerable amount of DPS, and you are tankier than the Merlin by default. Your shield tanking ability is going to make you unbelievably heavy on the front end. So when people fight you, you're going to be more tough than anybody else in your class just because of those innate abilities. So let's go to the medium class, right? So we only used 15, and you can keep track. We know there's a big one coming in the end with the 17 megawatt for the Afterburner, but we will still pass 58. So you do need to have research. So let's go to the electronic warfare. Standard for all of these is to give them one Weber fire, right? 61% reduction in speed is really going to help you. And the second thing is a warp disruptor. Sorry, not disruptor, scrambler. I make so many mistakes with these items. Now it's 1 plus 7, that's 8. 8 plus 15, that takes you up to 23 megawatts. 23 out of 58, you still have a ton left for the system, right? We're going into the Nosferatu, we're going small, system secure. No weapon drain, so there's nothing for you to stress about. There we go, right? The system is now very much on the path to being a top-notch system. 9 megawatts added to the 23, that pulls us up to 31 megawatts, right? 31 megawatts total. We'll go to low slots, shield boosters, X-type, right? As I said, there we go, 37 megawatts. We're still far away from where we need to go, right? Remember that was one of the best parts. I'm just going to go over this figure for you. You do 127 shield boost. With everything added from the additional shield boost that we added to it and the ship's boost, this will pull it up to upwards of the figure of 190. So basically 200 per recovery. And like I was saying, this is almost the same as a medium, right? 232. It's a lot higher, obviously. I think civilian would be it. No, civilian doesn't even count for anything. So yeah, about you can see that's 232. It's 148 gigajoules on that cost for a medium, but you are able to match a medium class shield booster because of timing. Actually, I didn't even show that there. This is 6 seconds, right? This is a 4-second activation time. With this advantage and that low reduction cost, you have the same effectiveness as a medium boost. Same effectiveness as a medium boost, same cost as a small boost. You are on the top of your field for defense. Do not make this disappear. Remember, even if you had a little bit more boost, you are doing, in the time that it does 2 boosts, you are doing 3 boosts. You're actually gaining on the medium. To be honest, if you had to count it down and reduce it in that way, you'd remove a third of its effectiveness, and it still would be way more expensive than what you are using. At around 120 for 3 boosts, you are gaining a total of 160 60 gigajoules of energy that the medium would have taken. So that is the massive advantage in that situation. Plus your power grid use is absolutely low. Now you could harden this, or you could just go with the damage control circuit. Remember, you've got 20 seconds in which you can really regain. Remember, you regaining in the 200s, your shield is effectively just over 1-2, right? So when you do this here for 20 seconds, that gives you 5 full boosts. 5 boosts in 20 seconds with all of the advantage that you just got. 5 times 200, 1,000 plus, right? You've got 1,000 recovered in the time this activation goes off. With your speed being as crazy as it is, you can expect quite a big damage reduction. You should be in the range of 100 to 150 in the input from very heavy weapons with the right speed to touch you. That's from missiles mainly. Lasers and all those other weapons should be only hitting you for about 10s and 20s. That's just because of the advantage of this class. And last but not least, let's go to the Afterburner. Now there was 1 megawatt kicking up to 37, and here we go. Right, we're going X-type small, 17 megawatts. You can count it up, that's 47, 54 megawatts. You don't even need the engineering to go all the way, but with everything that's boosting up the ship, you are capable of going over 2,000 meters per second. You are so fast that you can fire at somebody faster than your missiles travel. You are way faster than torpedoes, so you can go around and really smash up a lot of vessels. Remember, you don't have unbelievable DPS. So if you take the ship out and you try to push it too far, and this is just a warning, if you try and push it beyond T8 easy level missions or low level missions, you will suffer heavy damage. You can be destroyed and you can be taken out quite easily. You have a 500 gigajoule capacitor, which is augmented by whichever system you place in. Remember, if you've made it bigger, you do have an advantage. You're at 600 and something gigajoules, but it also means people can drain you for longer with a much more effective drain on your system. You do gain a lot of gain per second when it comes to your capacitor regain, and your research does help you stay stable. Now, that is everything that you need to know, since I've already given the final set in this here, being the rigs. With all of this put together, this might be one of very few frigates that can go up against a battleship. Now, this is a chance, right? It's not guaranteed to win, but it can effectively do enough damage to implement a takedown of a big ship like a battleship. You aren't effective against their weapons, but you aren't hittable by the weapons because you're moving so fast and large weapons are just going to miss you. You can take down one or two ships. The ships you should be very wary of is the Armageddon and the Dominics, because the Dominics can use drones of any size. Small drones will be a pain for you. You aren't invulnerable to them. They will implement damage to you at around a rate of about 20 to 30. I have had a lot of problems with these assault class breaches in the past when doing solo T10 missions. But yeah, that's just about everything I have to say. Catch you all in the next one and have a good day.